Hello everyone, welcome back to FPL Jedi Show Deadline Stream. Apa khabar semua? We are now in game week 28, of which we can call it blank game week. So I would like to welcome Azmin to the show. How are you? How's your feeling coming to this early deadline stream?
I'm surprisingly okay. I think looking back at that double game week because obviously I did it. I definitely dropped a lot. But after the weekend and the midweek matches where I clearly didn't do well, but my rank drop didn't fall that significantly. It was
Okay.
only like maybe 12 of 20,000 or something like that. From I was already 1.3 million after the weekend, and I'm still at 1.3 million after the midweek. So yeah, I'm quite better than I thought I'd be. I guess buying Tony as a damage control did help, although if I had kept made him captain, definitely it would have been better. But yeah, that's fine.
All right. I'm feeling good because that the midweek actually really jumped my rank from 30,000 plus. Well, down a bit, and now my rank inside just outside 13,000. All right, 30,205. And I'm
Yep.
looking forward to actually build up a momentum before we going to break for the international fixture. There will be our deadline stream before that. I mean,
Yep.
so we have been like back to back week from game week 17 post World Cup until 28, and now we're gonna take at least one break before the final hurdle of the season. Okay, man. All right. I
Yep.
think we jump straight to the game week 28 fixture. There will be
Yep.
only seven fixtures. Manchester United, Man City, Liverpool, Brighton, Fulham, and West Ham will not play this weekend because some of the team will involve in the FA Cup quarter-final matches. So tonight, early kickoff. Why the day Leicester will be on Friday night? Because at 4 a.m. Nottingham Forest will be playing Newcastle at the City Ground. In important match for Forest, especially they want to bounce back from their defeat against Spurs last week. We then have tomorrow at 11 p.m. four matches: Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Okay, Bournemouth did actually get a vital win against Liverpool last week. And then Brentford versus Leicester. Leicester has lost 1-3 at home against Chelsea. And Brentford, they actually won in midweek against Southampton 2-0. Southampton would like to actually bounce back from their defeat against Spurs. But Spurs on high rise, especially Harry Kane. And then we have Wolves versus Leeds. Both teams really needs point to actually get away from that relegation battle. And then we have on uh, Sunday midnight, Chelsea versus Everton. My team, hopefully Chelsea can actually bounce back, continue their momentum after three consecutive wins. But they are now have been drawn against Real Madrid in Champions League draw just before we actually go live. And then we have Arsenal, who surprisingly, I don't know, they lost through penalty shootout against Sporting Lisbon. They are now out from Europa League, and those Arsenal players, some of them played 120 minutes. So that's definitely going to take into account when we thinking about the players, or even take into consideration of getting any of Arsenal players. One other recent news, I think like 5 hours ago, Crystal Palace, Patrick Vieira has been sacked. Is it coming? Maybe because Crystal Palace has not been performing of late. Patrick Vieira has been sacked, and Arsenal are facing a managerless Crystal Palace. So, what you can say about Gavin 28 fixtures?
I think the last. I think the last thing they actually won was I don't know, like in January or even December. So, so yeah, I guess it was coming. It was bound to happen. We all keep targeting Palace as well, weren't we? Um, so, so yeah, I think it's expected. And to be honest, I found out about it maybe half about 1 hour before we went online, so I wasn't aware at all. So it does screw it up a bit. But yeah, it was bound to happen. So now it just remains. But will this have an impact this week? Probably not. I think they need someone to come in and actually work on the squad a bit longer before they can find it. So Arsenal could really enjoy themselves, and we know that Arsenal got dumped out of Europa on penalties, so there'll be some itchiness there.
All right, Min. We definitely want to focus the team news, okay, for all
Yeah.
these things because there's a lot of uh, interest, especially on the Chelsea asset, on the Aston Villa asset. Some want to go about the Leicester asset, okay, Newcastle and so on. If your Wakadi, Newcastle asset also come into picture. So I think we'll definitely jump straight into the team news, okay,
Yeah.
for the seven fixture. What has been the manager saying? First of all, okay, I think there is one key player of Forest who are not going to feature tonight, me. So what's the latest news for both teams?
So the thing with Johnson is that he said there's a small chance. At least that's what who's the guy?
Chris,
Steve Cooper.
Steve Cooper, sorry.
Yeah, Steve Cooper says it. So the thing is, Steve Cooper has had history of smoke screening a bit as well, but I think it's big enough to um significant enough to not to be worried about it lah. So I don't know. Let's see, because if you remember that when I drafted a free hit side, I had Johnson in it because they're at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but the thing is they are playing at home, so I don't know. We don't know. We'll see Brendan Johnson around, because if they were away, then we may see them come dropping off the bus. Yeah, but not this time. So I don't know. I'm tempted to see whether do I want to wait until nearer to the deadline to see whether he's
Oh.
there. But it might be too. I don't think I can. I'm so tired. um, yeah, full day. Anyway, other than Brennan Johnson, so we know that Chris Wood, who's currently on loan from Newcastle, can't play, which leaves them slightly a bit light up top, but well, not light in the sense that they have strikers,
Yeah.
but just too many.
There's
But their
plenty of
first,
them.
yeah, so but it's basically their first choices aren't available, might not be available. Brendan Johnson and Chris Wood, obviously he's on loan, so technically speaking, he would play if Brendan Johnson wasn't available, but I guess definitely not for this week against his parent club. So in terms of for Newcastle, so we know that Joe Linton continues to be suspended, and Anthony Gordon, someone they purchased back in the break, he's out until April. So now the question is, who's going to start up top for Newcastle? And it looks as though the
Mhm.
current thing is that Isaac should continue to start after he did score last week. There was a case of all these people who are looking at training grounds. They didn't see the Callum Wilson on the training ground, but it's hard to come across to any conclusions because that may not be because the Newcastle who's the guy, Eddie Howe, didn't say anything about it, so you would think that he is ready, but it's just that Isaac is currently the first choice, and given that Newcastle were on a winless streak for quite a while until last week, so you think that Isaac should continue to start if they don't want to change the winning team. But if you look at that, if you look, they made quite a few changes last week. They made like 4 or 5 changes, and Almiron, the likes of Almiron, was on the
Yep.
bench, so
Yep.
Almiron came in to score.
Yep.
So yeah, so it's a bit hard to see. I don't know if that winning side thing makes sense, so we'll have to see. But
Yep.
but we do need to consider this because a lot maybe some of us are wildcarding or bringing in a Newcastle player because game week 29 they play 2 games.
Yep.
Yeah, so safe play would be a defender. Shah appears to be back, so I don't.
Mhm.
So I don't know, but but other than Trippier, Pope, It's hard to
Uh,
decide.
one man will not feature is Jolinton. Will that impact I feel Newcastle team still better if you are comparing to Forest, but Forest has been strong at home. That we can
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, I think Navas in the end will probably have a lot of saves at the very least.
Okay, all right. I think maybe we actually discuss about potentially bringing a Forest player like Brandon Johnson. He is now out, most probably. Then he will not be in our consideration for sure, unless you want to go Gibbs White. Me, that's one other player that you also interested, right?
Yeah.
But it's against Newcastle. It's going to be tough, right?
Yeah, you'd want Gibbs White and Johnson before you even consider Gibbs White, I would think.
Okay, let's go to the next team news, which is Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Okay, Aston Villa, a lot of traffic means later spoiler. Watkins is the one that we people are thinking right now. What's the latest news for both teams?
So apparently Dan Donker had some weird domestic incident, something to do with gardening. I don't know. It's a very
All
odd
right.
thing. So he's out, but it doesn't matter because the key players are still there. Wendy, Watkins, Jacob Ramsey. So just that Bailey, will continue on, who's still out. So you think that first top for front six just picks themselves. Although the other thing is, with that left back situation, whether or not Moreno and Digne who's still fighting around, but and the reason I'm mentioning Aston Villa is that Aston Villa are also playing two matches. They're in
Yep.
a double game in game week 29. So it's one to consider, but it's tough to pick the likes of Moreno if Digne can come in. Although to be fair, Moreno has been playing well. His attacking role has been quite good, but I would think if you wanted an Aston Villa, you'd get someone like Cash or Mings even. So yeah, and not Bailey because he's in and out of the team, but Watkins is definitely a popular pick this week, I would think. Um, Other than that, for on the Bournemouth side, so uh, we're not really looking at Bournemouth players, are we? But yeah, Billing, he's stepping up a bit here.
Yep.
So, but Bournemouth only play one game, don't they? Yeah.
They actually play both
They
mid
do
and
play two
29.
games as well. Oh, I missed that. So I don't know. Just it feels like it's going to be a dark horse pick if you want to go for
Yep.
Bournemouth.
Yep. It's
Bournemouth playing
like
Bournemouth.
Billing or Blanke, I suppose that's about it.
Yeah, in the second game in the game week 29, they play Fulham and Brighton. Now the caveat there is that both play teams at home, so they are at home for those two. So yeah, it could be attractive if you're interested. But yeah, if you're interested, you probably only want to go for Billing or Solanke. Yeah, you don't want, and only one you don't want to invest in defense or who knows who the midfielders are.
Yeah, yeah. All right, pretty much there. Continue is out, but there's not really interest on him. But I still remember Coutinho somewhere last season. I mean, he hurts me a lot. Is it game week 27, 28, something like that? Aston Villa play double and Coutinho is the star that I can recall. All right. Okay, next one, Brentford versus Leicester. Pretty much Brentford's on the high rise. They midweek they win against Southampton away. Tony is the mastermind again, right? He's produced a goal and assist. So, but what latest news for both team in terms of team news?
So Brentford came off it nicely. They won what did 1-0, didn't they, against in midweek after disappointing pretty much most of the fantasy football community in midweek and in the during the weekend, but they in the end they came good.
Yeah, they won
Tony
2-0 against Southampton. Yeah.
Yeah, so Tony came good, and I guess that was not the result that I was thinking would happen. But apparently, the thing with Southampton is that they were also missing a few players from the win against Leicester during the weekend. Anyway, so other than other than the tweet there, Janelle, there's really nothing else there. Everyone else should be fit.
Yep. Okay.
It's just I guess it's just a question of fatigue. We don't know. Maybe
Yep.
someone
Yep.
will break down, but we can't do anything about that. And you know, that's it. On the Leicester side, it's not looking great for Leicester at the moment. So they they lost to Chelsea 3-1.
Yep.
And that the mini revival that they had a few weeks, maybe a month plus ago, seems to have gone again. They're recording back losses. Yeah, they were losing against Southampton in game week 26, and then losing against Chelsea. Yeah, 1-3. So it's a problem with Leicester. So the question now, apparently there's okay. So we're talking about Madison. He wasn't mentioned during press conference, so you would presume that he's fit. There's rumors going about on Twitter about Ward being benched for
Is
Iverson. Yeah, so I don't know with any truth in that. But it would give those relevance to those of you who aren't playing chips and only have Ward as the keeper. So I mean,
Okay.
I don't know what you can do about that. I wouldn't pick Iverson either. If though you so keep an eye on that for those of you who only have Ward for this game week.
Yeah, pretty much the players that I want to mention from both sides, Ivan Tony and James Madison has been called up to England. All right, so that's pretty much show that there is still quality in these two teams, and for sure Tony and Madison wants to prove that they deserve to be in that England squad. So we shall see. Next one, Southampton versus Spurs. London derby. I can see this. Southampton, I think, at 20th place right now. They lost 2-0 against Brentford. They definitely wants to perform, but this Spurs team, even though inconsistent, they're still good, man. So what's the latest news for both teams?
Okay, the biggest news for Southampton is that Kyle Walker Peters and Ansley McNiles, who both did not play uh, in the midweek match. So they could be ready for this one, which is good because the with Peters and Niles, that would be the side that won against
Is it Leicester?
Leicester, yeah, 1-0. So you think that the manager would want to have that winning lineup back, and at home they are well, arguably they should have been tough, but they still lost last week, didn't they? So Spurs, yep, no issues. Royal back in training, so you would think because right now, in that predicted lineup we got Pablo Porro, who's there, but it could really be Royal as well. It'd be harsh for Royal not to play, and because he's been doing so well before this, before he was injured. Then the question is Kane, who seems to be single-handedly trying to, keep Spurs competitive.
Yep.
With
They're still in the top 400, I suppose. Yep.
Yeah. Richarlison did contribute 2 assists, although no goals after all that criticism about him, so he should continue to start. With Kulusevski having lost a bit of form, Son who scored last week, so you would think that Richarlison and Son will continue for now.
All right, pretty much standard things. Spurs, Antonio Conte did mention no new injuries, so pretty much I feel the strong side. It's just matter of if Royal can actually displace Poro, but we're just not sure. Okay, man. Next one, Wolves versus Leeds. Both manager really desperate for points, man. So what's the latest news for both teams?
Right, so we will got Huang, who is now injured. So not that Wolves strikers have been scoring anyway. So we'll have Jimenez clearly going back into the starting lineup. Unfortunately, for those of you who still have Bueno, he's still out. So I'm sorry, so nothing there. So Leeds, so the case of Tyler Adams will miss because of hamstring. Lime Cooper is available and ready, but the more importantly, it's a question of who will start up front. So that you would think that Rodrigo would clearly off. So you would think that Bamford will continue to start, although Bamford himself, even though if he does start, he's not going to get a lot of minutes because he's clearly not. He clearly can't seem to be able to keep 90 minutes. So I would argue that Bamford will still start, but Rodrigo will definitely come in around the 60 plus minutes. Yeah, and he has to rebuild back.
All right, not much interest of team.
No,
Even though Leeds do double in game week 28. Yeah, 22.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the case with that one is because with everyone returning to fitness, Nonto isn't there in the lineup, but apparently fans are asking him to go back to the starting lineup, but it's a bit tough. Don't know how to, so we've got best to avoid.
Okay, let's go next one. My team, Chelsea versus Everton. They have won like 3 games in a row right now. They want to continue their form before the international break. But Everton do actually won last game week against Brentford at home, but away they might not be as good at their stadium. So, what's the latest news for both teams?
So the biggest news is Reece James, isn't it? So, no, it's not Reece James. It's Chilwell. The Chilwell wave seems to be really picking up. And then he did probably score last week, and
Yeah.
highlighting his fact. And of course, Chelsea have after game week 28, they have 2 matches in game week 29. So it's really picking up there. But on the other side, you have Reece James, who apparently he should be ready again. Um,
Mm,
so it'll be you would think that the safe play is Chilwell, and the risk like hell is Reece James, because knowing the history of Reece James, yeah, should be this extra cautious about picking up, but he can haul.
yeah.
Who knows? And Everton again. DCL is just a broken record. Can I stop mentioning him until he actually? So, so I don't want to talk about him. But a bit of big news for those of you who haven't wildcarded or because they don't have any wildcard anymore. We have Patterson. Looks like
Uh-huh.
he could be ready. So
Could he make some minutes? Is it or starts?
no, I don't think he'll start because Everton did win last week. So with this team, so I don't think he'll be wanting to immediately bring
Yeah,
Patterson
yeah,
in, but he'll definitely get some minutes. So it could help for those of you who's like mine, those
yeah,
squads like mine who are a bit stretched, and maybe Patterson comes in and he scores a point or two. Yeah, so yeah, don't expect
yeah,
much. But against Chelsea, we're talking about Chelsea,
yeah.
who seem to be on a resurgence here at the moment. Yeah, so yeah, but at least it'll be
Yeah.
good news.
I think Potter did mention Raheem Sterling, who before coming to this game week, maybe we thought he could actually come back, but he will miss this game with 28. So we can see there, Joe Felix, Mudrik, and Havertz should start the front three. And then Mason Mount is still not there, and he will not be going to England squad. Yeah. Okay, I mean, last game, which is Arsenal versus Palace, I think there's no mentioning about Arteta post match. Okay, but yeah, Crystal Palace also was cancelled because of Vieira sacking. So, what's the latest news if you can mention?
Right. So the thing with Arsenal is that we're not gonna get a press conference, and it's gonna be really tricky with Arsenal right now, and which is especially considering they played 120 minutes, and ended up losing no less against Sporting Lisbon, and quite a few of the players had issues. You had Saliba coming off, Tomiyasu coming off. Jesus played for only until halftime, but that
Yep.
was
Mm.
planned apparently because as he slowly builds his way up to fitness. Trossard didn't start during the in the Europa match, but he came on as a sub. Um, but even the likes of Zinchenko, who played Zinchenko, Martinelli, Gabriel, all played 120 minutes. So there's a bit of a risk of fatigue. Is something that they're gonna have to worry about a bit, especially because now they play it so soon on Sunday. Excuse me. So as mentioned earlier, there Tomiyasu and Saliba will be assessed, but at the same time, there is a bit of concern for fatigue with the likes of Zinchenko. Zinchenko seems to be the one who's probably the most at risk. Given he does have a suitable, immediate, a good replacement waiting
Kieran
there.
Tierney. Yeah.
Yeah, in the hands of Kieran Tierney. Yeah. So I don't know how to do this because obviously a lot of people who wildcarded would still have Saka. And actually, even if we wildcarded, you'll probably have uh, Gabriel and maybe Odegaard. That seems to be
Yeah.
the most popular combo because they were all benched last week. That's why we had a lot of people uh, a bit upset last weekend when Gabriel scoring 14 points. So it's hard now to figure this out. Um, but because most of you would have already kept your Arsenal players, so you just feel them anyway. There's less risk because it is against Palace, who are suddenly without a manager. And the biggest news is that Guaita suddenly disappeared against Brighton midweek, which also contributed a loss because we got this young guy called Whitworth
Yep.
of playing goalie. you
Yep.
know Maybe he has the ability, I don't know, but but when you can have a great ability, but if you don't have chemistry with your teammates, it's going to be a big problem. So yeah, Palace nothing, yeah, other than Guetta as mentioned there, Hughes and MacArthur. So I don't know, but it
Yep.
doesn't matter, we're not going for Palace anyway. uh
Yep. Yep.
I think this could Arsenal could murder them, even though Arsenal um, had Europa taxing Europa game, but Crystal Palace also played midweek anyway. So yeah,
Okay.
it's even, and which means that Arsenal should trash Palace this weekend.
I just take a quick look on the minutes or lineup. Arsenal against Sporting Lisbon.
Mm.
Zaka, Saka, and Martinelli all play 120 minutes that I can see.
Gabriel as well, right?
Yeah, Gabriel actually sub in. He's actually rested as sub in, replacing Kivio at
Oh,
71st minute. So at least
my
he
bad.
did. And who
Zin-
what is it?
Zinchenko was
Oh,
subbed off.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I think if you want to captaining Saka or Martinelli, maybe
Hang
you
on.
think twice.
What about Odegaard?
Odegaard did came in, right? But hmm,
He was a sub himself.
yeah, that's why. Okay, I'm not sure is this lineup correct or not, but
Okay,
it's not
no
here. But
worries.
he's actually take the first penalty. Yep. Okay, man. I think this is the team news. Let's go to the transfer traffic for game week 28. A quick one. Top five and in and out. Would you believe it? The first spot goes to Chilwell, Ben Chilwell, with 542,000 managers, close to the second place, which is Oli Watkins, man. Okay, coming in, there's lot of interest like moving Haaland out because we talk in midweek. Man City only have one fixture. Aston Villa got three fixtures, so pretty much it looks logic. 522 manager has brought him in. Okay, Almiro on the third one. Bit surprised. I'm not too sure, but he could actually be like replacement with March or McAllister, like 5.5 million. So I think that's something logic there that managers are doing if you do want to move the likes of Haaland, all right? 424 managers believe Almiron, even though he's been benched, okay? But he came in and scored a goal. Kane, yeah, after that 13 points last week, 400,000 managers who has not had him, bring him in, and also Madison, like we mentioned, to put in midfield, 353,000 managers. The top transfer out, man, would you be surprised? The most owned player, which is Haaland, 760,000 managers has brought him out. So means there is logic if that's the bandwagon right now. So And then Salah, but Liverpool not playing this week. Rashford also third one. Okay, and then KDB who also blank this week, and then Darwin. So pretty much all the non-playing players has been brought out this week. So what's you can make of this transfer?
Um, I don't think there's any real surprises. I think you just mentioned earlier that Chilwell as the hot stuff at the moment. Watkins, we also mentioned it. Kane coming in is unusual because by the fact that Spurs only have one game next week, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but of course, on the back of two of a winning performance last weekend, it obviously was bound to happen. And Madison, despite the injury concerns, he continues to be picked up. Uh, whether or not that's a good thing, I don't know. But it's only 1 week before the break, and
Yep.
give Madison some time to be fully fit. Yeah, Haaland out. No, it was going around a lot on Twitter, so I guess no surprises because they don't play this week, and only City only have 1 week when so many options are playing double game weeks. Um, Salah being sold, a lot of disgruntlement after a blank, but also the fact that they blanked this week, and although they do have two games next on game week 29, but they're arguably against tough opposition, Manchester City and
Chelsea.
Chelsea. So yeah, so it's not no surprises. Rashford being sold is a bit surprising. Yeah,
Yep.
I think this is the one surprising because the difference between him and Salah is just obviously is the price point. So you think keeping Rashford is not as damaging as keeping Salah. Yeah, but so it's still a bit of a surprise there. Then the other two, yeah, no comment, not surprised. KDB is nowhere what he was in previous seasons, and
Yep. Yep.
and Darwin, yeah, he's quite inconsistent really.
Next one, just a quick one on the ban list main. Okay, Jopalin Her and the Curry has returned, but although Fulham is not going to play this in this Premier League, okay, but he do play against Manchester United, is it in the FA Cup, right? Ban list, the newest one is Casemiro, man. Okay, been red carded again, the second time in the season, if not mistaken. He will be banned for 4 match, all right? And he will be returned somewhere in game week 31 and 32. Jolinton will serve another 1 game, okay, this week, and then he'll be ready for game week 29 double, man. So maybe. And do mention White Force, who have been two bookable offense against Chelsea, been sent off. He'll be this week against Brentford, right? And then suspension race, mate. Though I would like to mention about Ivan Tony. Okay, he was yellow carded. If not at the last minute of the game, Southampton against Brentford. This Ivan Tony, who actually yellow card magnet. I can't say, but he will play this game. But if he been yellow carded this game with 28, what that means, he will miss both of the matches in game week 29 for Brentford. So that's something that to ponder if you're thinking of, especially on your wildcard. Okay, that could be into consideration. The other two players on 9 yellow cards is the Corey, Crystal Palace, and Robin Noves. Okay, not much interest. Other than that, Madison and 7, the most that popular here, but the rest is not too much. What do you want to say? Anything, Tony?
Yeah, he's such a tease, this Ivan Tony. He just, obviously people would still want him for the double game week in 29. So it'd be really tough to it's e- it's a it'd be a simple decision if he gets a 10 yellow card this week in this weekend, because then after otherwise it's going to be a pain the following week, that he'll get if he gets a yellow card in the first match.
Yeah.
Um, but that's just the risk that I think everyone's just gonna have to take. I don't think there's too much in it. There's nothing you can do because you already planned to have to. You already had. I'm sorry for you guys. There's
Yeah,
already
it's already 1 o'clock. Right, we're
yeah,
definitely
people
going to be
kept
sleeping.
everyone. Many people who were wildcarded in Game Week 26 brought him on, so into the squads. So yeah, it's just a grin and bear it and hope he gets through.
Next one, I mean, just a quick pause for Game Week 28. What are people are doing? How many players with the fixture do you plan to fill in Game Week 28? I think like 44% of the managers says they be able to fill 11 players. 31% says they only fill 10 players, 40% 9 players, and then the rest of it. So pretty much 9 to 11 players that people can play their field their players. And then how you're going to handle your transfer for blank game week 28. Most did mention only one free transfer and no hits. 26% managers said that. Take a hit, 90% managers do that. Free hit, 90%. Also quite a popular one, right? If you're holding any Liverpool or Manchester United asset, I suppose that's what people are doing. Two free transfer and no hits, 13%. Wildcard 11%. That's the most that top five. What people are how they handle this transfer for game week 28 main. So what you can say about this trend, man?
Well, only about 50% of fielding 11, so I guess it's not so bad if you got 10. Um, I I mean, I've been trying to look at whether or not it's going to be a huge problem if you're not able to field 11 players for this game week, and I just don't see it. I keep thinking that 10 is enough. I, as you know, I have 9 players, and assuming
Yep.
everyone else is fit, then I'll just take a hit to get to 11. But I think even if you can only get to 10 after taking a hit, I think it's still okay. I don't think the difference will be that much. So, so yeah. Uh, you're just doing 2 transfers, right? Or are you
I
just
have
doing
no
one?
free transfer. I intend to use one only for this week.
So save the well,
Yeah.
it's a smart play if you can, if you are able to do that, because by saving 2 transfers after the international break where anything can happen, you can be prepared for
Yeah.
emergencies.
Yeah. Yeah. At least. At least. All right, man. Just a quick one on Captain Peak. A lot of managers are going to go for Kane, but I did saw the burning question yesterday. He mentioned that you can go anyone that and feel good about it because the likes of Saka you can go or any Arsenal players. Tony at home against Leicester. Leicester had been leaky. Tony can be the man against Watkins against Bournemouth. Okay, even though Bournemouth has been good, but Bournemouth pretty much has been considered a lot of chances. So Kane is the one, man. We should go as a safe pick.
Yeah, Kane is the safe pick. Obviously, he's the only expensive player playing this game week.
All
So
right.
yeah, I would argue he's the safe pick. But Saka is a great pick as well. Unfortunately, but it's just that you need to measure as to whether how much the Europa League may have impacted them a bit. Yeah, but I personally I don't think it's an issue. So I think I'm looking at a captain Arsenal player myself.
Okay. All right.
So,
Okay.
so it's just whether or not it's Saka or someone else. Martinelli might be a bit too dangerous. He did play 120 minutes. Oh, so I
Yep.
checked. So I actually checked. So Zinchenko, Gabriel, and Martinelli played 120 minutes
Okay. All right.
among the relevant fantasy picks.
Okay.
So there's a risk there. But Watkins is not bad. I think a lot of people are going to transfer him in, but captaining him, uh, maybe not.
Okay. All right, man. Let's go to our team, I suppose, man. Let's go to my team first because, yep, I'm still undecided, but I think uh, looks like I'll be influenced by the transfer traffic. So I decided I'm going to play Kepa over Raya. Okay, I feel Kepa against Everton, Chelsea. I think maybe they are much more stronger against Leicester. Um, for Brentford. I have Henry, I have Trippier, Botman, and Gabriel. I'm pretty much going to play this player. Odegaard, hopefully he play, and Saka. And then I have Kane as my captain for now, and Tony. So I have 9 players. I'm going to bring in another player and use only one of my transfer, of which I think I'm going to do what Kane's for Haaland, I guess. People are doing this right now. And maybe that's the logic thing, like we mentioned. Man City only have one fixture, and Villa going to have like 3 fixture. Okay. And then the other thinking is if Tony being yellow carded in game week 28, then I'm going to bring Haaland for Tony in game week 29. I suppose that's what I'm going to do. I bring Haaland back. If not, I'm going to only bring Haaland only after the game week 29, which is game week 30.
Okay. So hang on. So I'm a bit confused here. So you're only fielding 10 players this week?
Yep, 10 players. 10 players.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
10
thought.
players, not 11 players, but I need to transfer in Watkins for Haaland. I don't have any other option. To bring in Madison, I don't have money unless I sold Haaland. That's,
Yeah, but you are selling Alan.
yep.
Well, okay, all right. I wonder how many people are doing what you're doing actually, as in playing only 10 players. And you know, how many wildcarders or game week 26 wildcarders are doing which, or you're doing, which is
Yep.
building on 10 players. It'll be something interesting.
Yep. I pretty much want to keep the Brighton players for the double game week 29. Rashford also play game week 29. But we shall see. I think the one that I'm thinking right now to remove some of the Arsenal assets, so only going to play one game in game week 29. We shall see how it goes after the international break. If
Hmm.
we suddenly seeing like Kane or Haaland or anyone injured, then I have to tackle that, I suppose. Okay, man.
Oh, okay, my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have
See you,
yeah.
we go to the team. You still not wildcarded. You're not thinking of free hitting. You're gonna do transfer only, right, man?
Yeah, hang on. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
At the moment, I'm really undecided. I've been trying to look at a wild card, but I just haven't had the time. At the moment, that's my team as it is, and which has 9 players only with Saliba potential.
Saliba pretty much gonna miss this week, man.
Is it
Is
is
it?
it a confirmed thing? I don't know.
I think so, but
Because if Saliba is out, I'm going to just dump him and bring on Trossard. If that's the case.
sorry,
Uh,
Saliba, is it?
yeah.
Okay.
If
Saliba for
so so I jumped the gun there. Saliba for a Chelsea
Chilwell, I suppose, right?
Either Chilwell or James if I'm feeling rebellious. Um and Trossard for Salah. So
Yep.
so that's
And the plan is dead end your team, right? And then
yeah, yeah.
wildcard
And
in
then
the Yep.
if I do that, yeah. If I choose to wildcard, of course it's a different story. Um but I would still go for triple Arsenal, even though Arsenal only play one game in game week 29. Yeah. So
Okay.
Brighton will of course be around. So
You're gonna captain Saka, right?
this week at the moment Saka has the armband. Okay, not clearly shown there, but yeah. But if Saka, it would still be an Arsenal midfielder. Yeah, if regardless of whether I wild card or not, you I'm definitely giving an Arsenal midfielder the armband.
All right, man. Good luck to both of us. And pretty much we are come to the end of the stream, man. All right. And would like to remind all that the daily deadline will be at 2 2:30 a.m. Malaysian time. It's like 1.5 hour to go, man. Pretty much
Oh,
we can still think last minute before we make our move, but pretty much we just need to rush our decision, man. All right. Okay. So your last
yeah.
word, bro?
Good luck, and as based on what Hafiz has told us, and I've come to surprise myself. Even if you're not wild card, if you didn't wild card in 26 or you've used it up, but if you can field 10 players, that seems to be good enough, I would think. And after that, we take a break until for the
Yep.
internationals.
Yep. Pretty much, we also think we need a break. I think that's good, Tamli, and then we focus again in game week 29, which we're gonna double, right? All right. Do support us like by hitting the like button and also subscribe to our FPL Jedi Show YouTube channel, and you can actually click notification whenever we are around. Yeah, it will trigger you. So until then, good luck to all, whichever decision you make, and hope the best. May the force be with you. Take care. Bye bye.